Can everybody hear me? Yeah, sounds like it. My name is Adam Greenhood, CEO and founder of AdWallet. I've been in the advertising industry 20 years, not on the media side, on the creative side. Worked at Chiat Day, Playa del Rey, on Apple, and Taco Bell and Nissan for a while. Worked at Victor's and Spoils. And for the past 12 years, actually, I've been the executive creative director of the largest agency in the Southwest as far as advertising. And then everything was going well with my career. I have 2 wonderful kids. I've paid plenty of money to do what we all do and know and love. And then about 2.5 years ago, I had a meeting with a client that shook me to my inner core. It sent me home thinking a lot about my life. And of course, like all these existential journeys that we go on in our lives, mine started with a $200 steak dinner. We all know this dinner. This is the dinner we take our clients on 1 to 3 times a year to make sure the relationship is still good and everybody's happy. And please continue being our client next year. We're working really hard for you. After about 3 scotches, we all started to get honest, and my number one client, our agency's largest client, leaned over to me and said, the things that you do not want to hear in our business, we actually have to talk. Okay, heart stopped. What are we going to talk about? Well, we actually love our relationship with you guys. We love the creative. We love our media plan. We love our strategy. We love your organization. They've been our client for 10 years. They said, but unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we're having a really, really hard time connecting the millions of dollars we're spending with you guys to actual, meaningful, legitimate ROI on our end. We've all heard this. We all roll our eyes. Advertising doesn't work. I got 1,000 different excuses. Why? You're an idiot. You didn't do this thing. And the truth is, I was looking at him, and he said, and to take it a step further, I've started asking around. Just, being fair, asking around all over our office. Have you seen our ad? You seen our ad? And to be fair, this was a large campaign that was running in right around their office, TV, radio, print, online, digital. I mean, it was full-fledged. And he said, everybody said the same thing. So you know what? I record my favorite shows and skip the commercials in the middle now. Or I pay an extra $4 on Spotify not to air commercials. Or I pay $18 on Netflix to have an ad-free experience. I have ad blockers loaded into my browsers. On and on. And he said, finally when they said, even when I do still see ads, but even when I see them, I got to be honest, they're white noise. There's just so much that I can't tell you the last time I saw an ad that I could remember and actually got me to do something. Also, no news here, right? We've heard this for maybe since the beginning of our industry. And so he said, I'm not going to fire you guys, but I'm going to freeze your account. And the reason I'm not going to fire you is I don't think this is a problem with your agency. I think if I went to any other agency in the world, they get the same problem. You all have the same tools. If we go higher up the stream, the real problem is anybody paying attention to advertising? And not that we can't pull out plenty of examples saying they paid attention over here, 1% of ads are absolutely unbelievable. I mean the mass sweeping, swathing ads out there. Is anybody actually paying attention? So I went home, freaked out, started questioning my entire existence. Is this guy angry, right? He just wants to fire us. Yelled at my dog, yelled at my wife, yelled at myself, yelled at my kids. Point anywhere I could, lay blame, flopped down on the couch after I had calmed down, turned on the TV, and realized I recorded all of my favorite shows and skipped commercials. And if I'm the creative director of one of the largest agencies in the Southwest, I have more invested in advertising than anyone within 400 miles of my couch, and I'm behaving this way, as we all are behaving this way, if we're admitting to ourselves. How can I expect, the user or the target, real people, frankly, to behave any different? So about 2 weeks later, I was in my office at home, out loud, saying, how do I get someone to pay attention to an ad? How do I guarantee to a client, ourselves, that someone's actually paid attention? Not that it's been served correctly, actually paid attention to what was being said. And my wife, 3 doors down the hall, said, who do you want to pay for their attention? And that was a real aha moment for me, because I realized our industry for the past 100 years has been buying attention. That's actually what we're all doing here today. We spend just north of $200 billion a year in the US, doing one thing, buying attention. Now we can buy it 1,000 different ways. We can buy it in OTT or linear or OC. All of that is we're paying someone to get the attention of the person we really want to talk to. So that launched AdWallet. I raised $4 million on this slide, this one slide. Pretty much everybody saw that slide. Everyone who's ever seen that slide has said, true. And everyone in this room, bar the doors, plug your ears. We don't want a minute outside this room. Pretty true. Whether you literally skip that ad because it's on, in that format at pre-roll, or you record your favorite shows, or when ads come on, wouldn't it be fair to say, now that we're among friends, that when the ad comes on, it might as well yell out, intermission. That's intermission. We're programmed to go, okay, ad. Now look at my phone, now do work, now do, show's back on, now the thing I care about. So we can talk all day about serving it in different pods, but in the end, it's intermission. We've become intermission, which is ridiculous because we're paying for the whole party. $65 billion a year is what Google estimates is wasted on unseen digital ads. They estimate that's half of their inventory, by the way. And I'm not talking about not served. I mean not seen. It played, but no one was watching TV. No one was there to see it. That's an incredible amount of waste. We all struggle with ad avoidance. We have since the very beginning. Nobody today woke up saying, I can't wait to see the ads on Facebook. I can't wait to see what Instagram has for me for ads. No one. No one. None of us. Not even us. And we have more invested in it than maybe anyone within 1,000 miles in this room. We all know why, right? And this is users, consumers, us even talking. Well, they're cutting the cord. They're, and that's going up, and that's, of course, freaking out all sorts of systems, including linear. Ad blocking, over 48% of people now have some type of ad blocking loaded into their browser, and bots and fraud. And like we heard yesterday, brand safety is getting better without question, but there's still, Google estimates somewhere between $15 and $20 billion out there at bots and fraud. And this is what we heard yesterday, right? It's not only bad for our consumer, it's not so good for us either. Almost every presentation yesterday started with, well, it's murky. I don't know, it's pretty gray and confusing out there. It's very, very hard. This is very, very challenging stuff. We're all very, very advanced people, and we're struggling with this because it is a shockingly hard problem to actually talk to someone in a meaningful way and get them to do something. This is our current industry. Oversimplified, but this is how it works, right? The advertiser, and there's some clients in the room, whoever's holding the money, pays a variety of third-party services to run the ad to hopefully connect with the right target to get them to do something. That's basically how the system works no matter which system we're using. That's how it's worked for 100 years. Oh, it's worked since Mad Men. We pay a third party, but we're visitors on those third party. Nobody is going to Twitch to see ads. They're engaged. Nobody is, when we talked about all the places people are excited about, The Office reruns or Friends on Netflix, which doesn't even run ads, or content. People are going to see that content, and we're this weird sideshow. This is how AdWallet works. Is what if you were to remove all of that? Let's just dream for a second that there was no middleman. We're holding the money trying to buy attention. What if we could buy it directly? What if I could buy the attention directly of everybody in this room and not use a publisher at all? Just say, your attention's worth something, so is yours, so is yours. I'm literally holding all the money trying to do this, but I'm going to go directly to the source because each of our attentions is a commodity. It's one of the most valuable commodities on earth right now. Ask Facebook or Google. How do you do that? In fact, I've bought your attention today. I've spent $20,000 today to stand on this stage to talk to about 100 of you, right? Because I believe that that was a very good price for what I'm about to tell you and what you guys can do for me. 100 people divided by 20,000, $200 a head. I'm going to talk for 20 minutes, maybe 22. And you're each worth 10 bucks a minute. In this particular audience, to my particular business, you're worth 10 bucks a minute. Well, money well spent. Ken actually mentioned we've done this 2 or 3 times. Every time we walk out of here with obviously more than $20,000 worth of value. So I kind of fell down the rabbit hole with this as a creative. How would you do that if you could? Because that would be awesome if you could. You get to this statement really quick. Whoa. Are we talking about paying people to watch ads? Whoa. You just ended up with this guy, right? I'm going to sit at home. I'm going to get an app, and I'm going to pay attention to ads, right? And I'm going to make a couple pennies, and the client's going to get screwed, and he doesn't really care, and it's a game. So you run right into this. How do you buy attention directly, but not, frankly, devolve it into a game? And that's the question that with the money I raised, $3 or $4 million, over the past 2 years, we've been trying to figure out. How do you avoid making that a silly game? And we started with this basic premise. What if an ad wasn't an interruption, but was an invite? What if you went all the way to the top? We're not going to talk about the systems for now. We're going to go all the way to the absolute top of the clouds and say, the experience of getting an ad for almost anyone on earth, 99.9% of the time, is an interruption. It was designed to be that way. It is not a good thing. It may become a good thing because, as we saw yesterday, it was a beautifully produced video for Sleep Number, and if you stay to watch, it's a good thing. But you still got to stay to watch. You still have to get their attention initially. So how do you actually do that? Can you make the act of getting an ad a positive experience, actually a looked forward to experience? Like, I've got an ad today, said no one ever in the history of the world. Except in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 50,000 people are saying that right now. This is how it works. They download the AdWallet app, or you find it on the web, so it's web-based. And the very first thing we did was, all right, if we're going to unwind the whole system, why don't we just ask everybody who they are? Why don't we take them, ask them all the targets, all the psychographic and demographics that we are trying so desperately to know about every individual, and say, all right, full transparency, I'm going to ask you who you are, and the more detailed information you give me is the better, the more targeted the ads that you're going to receive for the things you actually care about, and you won't get ads for things you don't care about. Because that's the other problem with our industry. We'll get a bunch of crap that we're not in the market for. And it's explained to the user, no need to lie, there's no perfect profile because the advertiser will target you against that profile. Some advertisers will want a 38-year-old man who makes 100 grand a year. Some will want a 19-year-old girl. You have no control over this. Just tell me who you are. After they fill out that 150-point data profile, first-party data, CCPA compliant, GDPR compliant, it's, hi, I'm an advertiser. Nice to meet you. I'd like to buy your attention. The next morning, they get a text that looks exactly like this. Cha-ching, you have one new ad in your AdWallet. You have 3 days to watch it before it disappears. So now the user decides when they have time to engage in our ad, not us desperately trying to guess when they have a moment free. I hope I guessed right. They're going to engage in it when they're ready. They open up their AdWallet. This is what an AdWallet looks like. That's me. And this is what an AdWallet looks like. And within that 3-day period, if I click on that ad, it turns into a full screen, and I watch the ad.
How can we say when you book direct at choicehotels.com, you always get the lowest price in our rooms, guaranteed?
Let's get someone to say it with a really low voice. Carl?
Lowest price guaranteed.
What about the world's lowest limbo stick?
How low can you go?
Nice one, Carl.
Hey, I've got an idea. Just say bada book, bada boom.
Bada book, bada boom.
Nice.
Always the lowest price, guaranteed. Book now at choicehotels.com.
It's a TV ad. Choice Hotels is actually one of our partners. At the end of the ad, and this is pretty key on AdWallet, again, a learning experiment, you have to answer a question to prove that you actually paid attention to that. So it's not enough to just, oh, the ad ran and we were pretty darn sure it got to the right person. You actually have to prove you comprehended what it just said. What is the single most compelling thing, this is where creatives start, of what you're trying to take away from that ad? What happens when you book directly through choicehotels.com? You always get the lowest prices guaranteed. A low voice will echo from the heavens, bada book, bada boom, or you'll probably just get screwed. Go to Expedia. All right? The advertiser on our system gets to write the question. So this is their opportunity to go, this is the thing. When is the concert? What were the dates? Who was it? How much was it? How much does Sling cost? Where's the reiterate. Now, we found something very interesting. Not only does this prove definitively they paid attention, because if they get the question wrong, it just says, I'm sorry, that's the wrong answer. You have to watch the entire ad again. And have to watch the entire ad again, and they're going to get the same question. You just wasted a minute of your precious time. And so most people on AdWallet, we found, they hop on AdWallet, they don't pay attention to the ad when it runs, they miss this question, they have to waste their time, and they never miss it again. Because now they're programmed, okay, if I'm going to watch on AdWallet, shh, I'm like, for real. Like, really this time. Like, what are you trying to tell me? Also, when you've answered a question about it, something happens in your brain. Now there's a synapse that's connected to it. Just like in school, you think you're paying attention to a teacher because you're quiet and you're looking forward and you're not talking to your friend. Until they go, I'm sorry, what did I just say? What was the, when was the War of 1812? And then you can feel your brain going, wait, what did you just say? What did you just say? And then when you have that answer, that teacher could ask you that question a week from then, and you'd remember it. Because it's not about passive attention. Right now, I hope you're all really paying attention to me, but it's passive attention. You're seeing things, but you're not actually seeing them. See that sign over there that says, I'm going to pick on unruly? Everybody pay attention to that. Now, you've glanced at unruly over there for 24 hours now. You've glanced at it, you've seen it, but you would have never remembered it, or maybe you might have remembered it. But a week from now, if I say, hey, what was that sign I pointed to? Unruly. You focused your attention, and you never forget it. After the experience, if they get the question right, the users paid 50 cents. They provided their attention. You just made a media buy against it directly to a person. They rate the ad. So this information goes right back to the advertiser. You can A/B test. We have a lot of advertisers A/B testing creative overnight to see what do people really think about this cut or that cut. The user is asked, would you like to engage in this ad in 30, 60, 90, or in this product or service in 30, 60, 90 days, or never? We bought your attention, but we didn't buy your guaranteed sale. Do you actually care about the thing now that you paid attention to it? And of course, with those answers, you're able to target even further down the funnel and immediately eviscerate people who have no interest in your product. They're also asked, would you like to download an exclusive offer from Choice Hotels right into your AdWallet? Yes or no? We'll see. And now it lives on their ad wallet, on their person, not looking for it in their email or 1,000 different directions. It's all located right here. Would you like to share this ad on social media? They'll make a decision, yes or no. Incidentally, 39% of our users are sharing their ads on social media. And that's not a sponsored ad. That is literally a third-party endorsement of, I just saw this really funny piece of content. You should check it out, my buddies. They also have the option, if you give it to them, would you like to reveal your verified email to this advertiser for an additional $1? Yeah, 42% are doing that. Here's my email. Now, of course, I can become part of your loyalty program, or you put me into your CRM system and actually continue to build a relationship with me. Or not. I don't trust this advertiser. I don't actually want to give you my email on this one. 98% when offered an 18-question research survey about your brand for an extra 2 minutes, for an extra $1, we'll take it. Again, we have them in the perfect environment. If I emailed this survey, hey, you want to take a survey about Unruly? No, I'm busy. Right now, I have my phone out. I'm in the AdWallet experience. This is the moment of moments to ask me another 18 questions about your brand. That's the offer I downloaded for Choice Hotels. It's in my AdWallet now, but I can use online. Of course, there's always a button to click to go directly to their website. We track all of this for advertisers. And at the end of that experience, everybody who said I have any type of interest in Choice Hotels is automatically pivoted to their website. We drop them literally on your website, and then they, of course, can be retargeted as you retarget anything that comes to your website. That's the entire experience. I just made anywhere from 50 cents to $4 for my attention. Money actually flows down into my ad wallet and goes cha-ching. It's very satisfying. At $10 or more, the user gets to cash out, and they can push it directly to their checking account, their bank account. They can make it at one of 25 national gift cards, or they can donate it to their favorite local charity. We literally just gave them the media money directly for real, verified, targetable, first-party attention. So what happens when you do this? What happens when you do this ridiculous experiment of basically paying the consumer rather than a publisher for attention? Costs go down, and effectiveness goes up, just like any time when you sort of cut down that middle area. Not to pick on any of the big boys. They do an amazing job. But a cost per click, as you all well know, is anywhere from $1 to $150, depending on your industry. On AdWallet, it's anywhere from $1 to $5, and of course you get all that. And all we've really changed is who you're paying. You're actually buying that attention directly from the person. And I'm going to show you a couple KPIs here, which if I showed you before, you'd go, I'm lying. Right? They're ridiculous KPIs. But when you actually make this connection directly and make a partnership with your end user, everything is first party. We have 100% view-through rate because you only get charged when they answer a question about your ad to prove they paid attention to it, not that it viewed through. We have 100% comprehension. Every single ad, we capture intent to purchase. 39% will share that ad on social media, share it. 34% will share their email with you. 98% will complete an 18-question survey that you create. Takes a couple minutes to fill out. And 92% will be pivoted to the website. The reason it's not 100% is 8% will say, I'm not interested at all in your product. Good, we're not going to send you to the website. That's not a fair click. We are only in New Mexico, unfortunately, at the moment. We've been beta testing the system for 2 years. This is the downer part of my presentation, which is great. Cool, let's have it at scale. For 2 years, we've been beta testing the system in New Mexico. We have 50,000 members now in New Mexico, which is about 5% of the addressable audience in New Mexico. The reason I'm here today is, obviously, we're planning to scale in 2020 all over the country. This is a wonderful room for me to get involved in all of you guys and your clients and the monies that you represent. Every time we do this, what we offer now, since we're only in New Mexico, we're building a brand and an agency syndicate. So we want agencies to be our partner. We want direct-to-consumer brands to try this out. Now, granted, right now, we're microscopic. We're 50,000 people in New Mexico. So what we're offering is for everybody in this room, just because you're here in this room, we'll give you $5,000 to run on AdWallet, and that's on us. And that's real money, because we're really paying people, actually, for attention for your product or service. So we'll give you the $5,000 to do a test on AdWallet in New Mexico. And if you run that test between now and the end of the year, next year, we'll match $50,000, any buy that you make up to $50,000. So it's kind of like you have nothing to lose. It's like play with our little toy in New Mexico, give the gift to your client. We want you to see these results. We want you to understand how the system works because, of course, our brand plan is scaling next year, that you already understand AdWallet, and you're actually ready to make a real media buy as we scale across the country. Okay, was that 20 minutes-ish? Did I use, okay. $20,000 for 20 minutes, and hopefully it paid off. Thank you very much. I'll be here, obviously, for the rest of the conference. David over there, Dave Perez, is our Chief Revenue Officer. He'll be here as well. Happy to answer any questions you guys have about the product, and thank you very much.
Adam, thanks. That's great. And this is not the first time we've seen this. He's presented this a few times, and it's always pretty eye-opening and pretty cool. Any questions for Adam before we let him off the hook? Usually there's a couple people in the audience going, hey, wait a second. Yeah, there's a couple. Okay, hold on one second. Just let us know who you are and no. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
I just really wanted to know, Donald Labasco from Hunter Douglas. What are the cost factors or the pricing structure from an advertiser standpoint?
Yeah. So what I just showed you, that entire experience that someone goes through, if you don't add a survey and you don't ask for their email, it costs $1 when that person engages. So it is kind of pay-per-click, only when they've actually, the person you've targeted, watched the ad, answered a question about it, rated it, surveyed it, did all of that, you're charged $1. The math is fairly simple. They're paid 50 cents, we're paid 50 cents. So think about it in terms of what do you pay per click. If you look at this as a CPM, it would be the most expensive CPM on planet Earth, right? But it's really not that. What we just provided you was much more than like, what's an impression? We were talking a little bit about, is an impression? That's the value we just provided you, but that costs $1. If you want their verified email, another $1, or another $2, I'm sorry. If you want them to take a survey, another $2 on your behalf. But you're getting really, really, really intense stuff that typically costs a lot more.
I think one more here.
Good morning, Sean Robertson, Dish. What about frequency? So as a user, right, I've seen the spot, I've verified that I've seen it, I've answered your survey. But we know from an advertiser standpoint, sometimes that you have to deliver a message more than once, or you want to do versioning, an example of Sleep Number from yesterday. How do you engage in that?
So frequency, it's a great question. The question was about frequency. This is obviously, this is way too expensive to do it, like we're going to run it 8 to 12 times to you to do it. What we found is because this engagement is so heavy, because you answered a question about it, you literally leaned in, it was an ad by private invite, that 2 engagements on our end is worth 12 on more of a linear TV end, because these are extraordinarily, this is like punching someone in the face with your brand, rather than impression and impression, like butterflies around them that finally add up to that impression. So this is a medium that works best when actually paired with an impression-based medium. And actually, one of our partners, Nexstar, became our partner a few weeks ago. They're a linear TV broadcast owner, about 50% of television affiliates all over the country. They like this because when you pair it with a TV campaign that is running, what we were anecdotally hearing was people going, hey, I saw that ad for Geico on AdWallet, and now I'm seeing it everywhere, all over TV and everything. It was like, that ad's been running for Geico for 3 months before we ever launched on AdWallet. You just never actually paid attention to it. What was the sign that I pointed to earlier? Right. Because when you pay attention to something that intensely, that focused, it cuts through everything else. So to your point, this is not, this runs best when it's, I'm going to run 1 or 2 ads to you on AdWallet, and you're going to run them in concert with the broad-based, impression-based systems. It elevates all of those impressions enormously. When you guys walk by, now that you've paid attention on Unruly, if I were to put a couple of Unruly cards all over a resort, you'll notice it instantly. That's just how our brains work.
Anyone else? Oh, there we go.
Erin Killian with Point to Point. What sort of back end do you guys offer in terms of data and sort of information from an advertiser perspective?
Right. So obviously, we're a treasure trove of data because we basically said, look, give us your data, member. And the agreement that we have with them is everything that you tell us we'll use to target you. We're not going to trade your data. We're not going to sell your data. This is a very safe space. We're going to see an ad in a safe space. So the data that we collect is all of the information that I just showed you as far as each individual user, what did they do, what they didn't do. That email procurement, you literally get sent a CSV file immediately of the name, the email, and they're interested in engaging the next 30 days in Hunter Douglas. You literally have that now, and you can immediately reach out to them as an actual attribution. Our reports, I'm a creative director, right? So I not only wanted the user experience to be like, how would I want an ad in a perfect world if I could wave a magic wand? On the end of the media side, on your end, our reports are designed to be like, oh, finally, this isn't, I could literally just give this to a client, because it's not very complicated when you're actually talking to an actual individual, rather than a lot of what we talked about yesterday was comparing this platform to that platform to this platform and their CPMs and their CPIs. These are true engagements. You can literally look at your client and go, I can tell you 16,944 people to the person fully engaged in your ad. 8,923 of them gave them their email. 2,444 said they want to engage in the next 30 days. Those kind of numbers that are not debatable. They're like, here, go. You bought their attention, now go make the sale.
Hold on.
How often are you prompting the consumers to refresh their own data? Because I think about, like, if I were somebody using the app, I've lived in New York for 13 years. I've never owned a car since I've lived here, but next year I'm going to buy a car, right? So how often would you be prompting me? Because it's like things you don't think about going back in and updating your profile.
Sure. And so when we started, it's like, okay, we're going to ask these questions, and now to your point, in our life cycle, it's like, okay, how are we going to make sure that data is fresh? So some of this data changes immediately. One of the things we ask is, are you expecting? Are you pregnant? Well, that's going to change, one way or the other for you, very shortly. Automatically, some of these things automatically prompt. We've built into the system the things that are automatically would sense that they're about to time out. The user, when they log onto their AdWallet, is asked 1 question, 2 questions to gently refresh that information. It's designed to be extraordinarily user-focused, meaning we're not going to send you 1,000 ads a day. We'll only send you a couple a week. When we do, it's highly relevant. It's highly targeted. We pay you a fair price for your attention. It's not a penny. We're going to pay you. And that the experience feels like I am actually creating a partnership with these brands, not, it's a game or what have you. So to your point, that's sort of in our UX experiment. When did those refresh questions come and why? Then there's triggers, obviously, for us.
Adam, thank you. You have your colleague David here, right? Raise your hand, David.
David's
Okay,
over
so
there.
David's here.